until there's only one of you left. Who's ready to win?
In the murkiest shadows of cinema, fear is not a simple scream. It wears many faces: survival stripped bare, the supernatural creeping in, psychological torment, monstrous nature turned inside out. The films we're about to explore do more than scare us. They provoke, unsettle, and force us to confront what lies beneath the surface: shame, endurance, obsession, the unexplained. Over the next chapters, we travel from the back roads of rural America to dystopian highways, to isolated lakeside estates, haunted dogs, and sea-hunting nightmares. Each film on this list changed how we think about horror and thrillers, altered the tone, the stakes, the very language. Let us begin. 1. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. In 1974, under the blistering Texas sun, a group of young friends drive into a rural wasteland. Their journey to visit a grandfather's grave turns into a nightmare. A deranged family, cannibalism, a chainsaw-wielding killer. But what makes this film more than gore is the relentless desperation, the claustrophobia, the demolition of safety. It doesn't rely on flashy effects. It is raw, messy, unforgiving. The villain, Leatherface, becomes more than a killer. He's a nightmare made flesh. This film set the tone for what raw, independent horror could achieve. It did not whisper. It slammed you into terror and refused to let you go. And in doing so, it opened the door for horror that wasn't just about shocks, but about atmosphere, about witnessing real dread. 2. The Black Phone, 2021. Fast forward to 2021. A shy 13-year-old boy named Finney is abducted by a sadistic killer known only as the Grabber. He is hidden in a soundproof basement, his only connection to the world, a disconnected rotary phone on the wall. It rings. It's the voices of previous victims. Here the horror evolves. It isn't simply chase and kill. The supernatural creeps in through the dead. Isolation is deeper. The stakes are more psychological. What connects the living and the dead? How can hope survive in utter terror? This is horror that refuses to stay in the basement. It reaches out. In contrast to the raw savagery of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Black Phone introduces a layered interplay of trauma, memory, and otherworldly voices. It asks, when the body is trapped, what realm do you escape into? 3. The Long Walk, 2025. Now we shift into dystopian terrain, based on a novel by Stephen King, as Richard Bachman. The Long Walk imagines a totalitarian America where 50 teenage boys compete in a walking contest, maintain pace, or be shot. This film's horror is collective. It isn't one masked killer. It's a system, a spectacle. The true monster is the society that demands endurance and punishes failure. The setting is stripped down, impersonal, brutal. Here, survival doesn't only mean escape. It means enduring the rules, the gaze of the crowd, the inevitability of loss. Horror becomes social, ritualized. The fear is in the treadmill of existence rather than a house in the woods. 4. Shelby Oaks, 2024. In a found footage/documentary-style twist, Shelby Oaks follows a paranormal investigation group and the search for a missing sister in a deserted ghost town called Shelby Oaks, Oklahoma. Obsession takes over. What begins as investigation turns into personal descent. Wikipedia. The horror here is self-inflicted, not simply what's haunted, but how you chase what's haunted and what you become in the chase. The film asks, what if the investigation is the trap? What if looking for the unseen turns you into the monster? In this, we see horror of knowledge, of documentation, of the blurred line between spectator and victim. 5. Bone Lake, 2024. Two couples arrive at a secluded lakeside mansion to vacation, but soon find themselves forced to share the house with strangers. Charm gives way to manipulation, sex, lies, betrayal. The thriller turns into horror. What makes Bone Lake interesting is the subtle shift. The danger is domestic, seductive, slippery. The lake, the house, the vacation, all turn against you. The horror here whispers in comfort. This invites a different kind of fear. That paradise becomes trap. The familiar becomes hostile. 6. Jaws, 1975. Before all the modern horror tropes, this film reintroduced nature as predator. A great white shark haunts the beaches of Amity Island, a summer tourist town, a police chief who wants to close the beaches, the tourists who want thrills. Fear that lurks beneath the surface. Jaws taps something primal. The water beneath you is not safe. The monster isn't supernatural, it is nature altered. This film ushered in the blockbuster horror thriller and the idea that the world you know can hide a lurking menace. Here we see horror expanding, from basement/house to open sea, from unknown killer to primal beast.
Do I even know this man?
7. Keeper. Whether you refer to the true-life 2018 biopic of Burt Troutman or the later 2025 surreal horror of the same name, the core theme remains. What we keep and what keeps us matters. The horror here lies in guarding, in isolation, in the secrets we harbor. Biopic version as frame, horror version as mood. IMDb in the horror reading, a cabin, isolation, unspeakable evil. In either reading, the theme shifts. Not just monster outside, but monster inside. What we allow ourselves to keep hidden, what keeps us hostage. It marks horror turning inward. Memory, guilt, secrets become the haunt. 8. Good Boy, 2025. Here's a twist. Imagine a haunted house story told from the perspective of a dog. The loyal pup senses something wrong. The owner doesn't. Shadows move. The dog tries to warn. The human cannot see. Wikipedia. The horror here is inverted. The guardian becomes the audience's eyes. The animal sees what we ignore. The dog is the witness, and maybe the victim. Good Boy asks, who's guarding the guardian? What if the monster hides behind trust? This is horror shifting not just perspective, but being forced to watch through other eyes, other senses. 9. Frankenstein, various versions. A man plays God. A creature awakens. Disaster unfolds. In the 2025 film version, and beyond, the themes remain timeless. Creation versus creator, morality versus ambition, science beyond limits. Horror here isn't simply the monster, it is the hubris. You can refer to the classic 1931 Universal version or modern reimaginings. Wikipedia. The monster's face is fear, but the creator's face is worse. At the end, the question is, what have we made? And what will it take from us? Frankenstein is the template. The fear of ourselves, of our creation, of our ambition. Here's a short story summary of the film, Bring Her Back, 2025. Two orphaned step-siblings, 17-year-old Andy and his partially sighted younger sister Piper, are placed in the care of Laura, a seemingly kind foster mother who lost her own daughter. They move into Laura's remote home, where Laura's attention quickly turns to Piper, while Andy grows uneasy about Laura's behavior and the eerie presence of another child in the house, Oliver. As Andy investigates further, he uncovers that Laura is involved in a sinister occult ritual aimed at resurrecting her dead daughter. And Piper is trapped in the center of it. The film builds into a horrifying confrontation of grief, manipulation, and supernatural dread. Closing thoughts. What ties all of these films together isn't just fear, it's transformation. Each movie takes what we think we know, a house, a competition, a beast, a guardian, a creation, and turns it into something darker, stranger, other. Horror becomes not only about the monster, but about what the monster reflects in us. Society, memory, trauma, nature, creation, innocence. The evolution we see from raw survival, Texas Chainsaw, to layered psychological horror, Black Phone, from systemic terror, Long Walk, to perspective shifts, Good Boy, shows how horror cinema has grown in complexity, ambition, and nuance. Why this matters? Horror reflects what we hide. Abandonment, society, nature, the self. The best horror doesn't just scare, it lingers. It changes how you see your world. These films ask, what if survival isn't enough? What if knowing is another kind of danger? What if the monster is inside or looking back at you? So as you watch them or revisit them, listen. Watch how the camera lingers, how the silence holds you, how the monster might be human, and ask, which one scared me and what did it ask of me?